This week my Bluetooth speaker wasn't working, so I threw it in the loch.
You threw your Bluetooth speaker in the loch.
Yeah, now it's sinking.
Hey, like the Titanic.
Oh, I remember that. Do you remember when people used to change the name of their iPods to the Titanic?
So it was like,
that you?
the Titanic is sinking. I did that. I'm sure I did that.
So basic now.
Awesome.
So cool.
So cool.
Hello and welcome to episode 12 of That's Class, a podcast about things we find class, hosted by three of your favourite classholes. As always, I'm Ruaridh Kidd, joined by the Hasbro lover Duncan Malcolm.
Hello.
And the Leeds United number one fan, Eddie Ashcroft.
Good day.
How are we, boys? You alright?
Excellent.
Indeed. Oh, pretty
Alright,
good.
cool.
Pretty good. Good week. How are you, Rory?
Good, I was going to say ripe and ready to go. Such a silent intro.
How are you, Rory?
I'm good. I'm buzzing on life. Just surfing a lot. The sun's out. It's been a constant 14 degrees down here. Feeling a lot better.
You're clearly up and at it because you seem brighter than the pair of us. We're still trying to ingest hydrate and get caffeine into us.
Yeah, well, I've been up since 8, I think.
Still trying to adjust to the freezing cold temperatures that make it feel like winter again, and you just want to lie in bed all day.
Is May
too cold? I don't want to get up.
Actually April? Have we just did we shift
May's
the clock
January
forward and
right
shift
now.
a month forward?
I think this year might be the first ever year that it'll maybe not be that warm on my birthday.
No, it's it's always warm on your birthday. It doesn't matter.
Thanks, Doug.
It could be 14 degrees all week and then bam, 22. Like, what?
22 on the 30th of May.
And then Monday, bam, 14. You're like, what?
Yeah.
How does this work?
Are you guys both coming down?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice one. Barbecue all day. Beers
All day.
all day. Eddie, get Fiona to drive.
Pidge is driving
Pidge is
me,
driving.
making him drive.
Oh, Pidge is coming. Oh.
Hooray!
I didn't even know he was coming. No one's actually responded on that they'll come. I've just said, this is happening.
We all did.
I think I got a response from Duncan and you and Eddie.
And Boehner.
Yeah.
Boehner was like 12
And
o'clock.
Boehner. Boehner was like 10 o'clock beers.
Be there.
But yeah, that'll be fun. Looking
I
forward to
think
it.
you'll get there whenever we get there, because I think we'll probably give him a lift through.
Yeah, that'd be sick. But anyway, a little bit of housekeeping. If you want to listen to this podcast, just search for your favorite podcast service for That's Class, and we will be right there for you waiting. We upload a new episode every single Monday morning, just in time for your commute to work. And if you prefer to watch the podcast rather than listen to it and put faces to the voices and then instantly regret making that decision, you can also find us on YouTube the following Wednesday. Just search for That's Class Pod. And we have a bit of a different pod today, lads, don't we? It is more of a news day as opposed to a main topic
Let's
day.
talk shit.
Just talk shit
More
that's happened
so-
this week.
For the fact that we didn't organize ourselves enough to actually think of a topic. So we're just talking about news.
We have a solid bank of topics.
We've got a solid bank
the
of
time
many
wasn't
topics.
right. The
It's
time
like
wasn't right.
It's like a Nintendo Mario Party mini game of topics.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that a good reference? I don't know. I'll kick it off from the first one. Have you guys seen the trailer for the second Venom movie? Let There
Yes.
Be Carnage.
I
Featuring
have.
Woody Harrelson.
Directed by Gollum himself, Andy Serkis.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Was the first one directed by him?
No. I don't think it was.
What were your thoughts on the first one?
It was fun.
I kind of enjoyed the first one.
Yeah.
For being like a fun movie.
Yeah. It was a fun Friday night movie.
Yeah. I saw it on a plane. It was a good plane movie.
Yeah, a good play movie. It's what we used to call them fajita movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Friday night fajitas,
Friday night
sitting
fajita
down.
movie. That's it, sitting down watching something. That's exactly what it's for.
That's ideal. What do you think about Woody Harrelson and anything? I mean, I don't really know anything about Venom other than that awful Spider-Man 3 movie.
I don't understand who's been what. I don't know if it's been an intentional thing that they've not shown you much of what's actually going to happen or be going on.
Yeah.
But I was super confused as to is Woody Harrelson Carnage? Is he not?
Woody Harrelson is Carnage, yeah. His
Okay. Oh, well.
Because
I can't
he's
remember his character's name, but he goes to visit him in the end credit scene of the
of
first
Venom.
one of Venom. And Woody Harrelson's in that scene,
And he says the phrase, "Are you ready for some carnage?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, very good."
Is it somebody Creed something Cassidy? I think his name. His name's spelled with K's, something daft like that. And he's
Creed Branton.
but he's got basically he's a serial killer, and I don't know how he becomes Carnage. I can't quite remember, but I just remember that he's like a proper
I think they showed you
supervillain.
that in the trailer.
From the trailer, it looks like he's a way to get the lethal injection, and then his body fights back, and he becomes.
Yeah, so he already have it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Carnage
Which is a weird way of how they did it in the first movie, which was like an alien symbiote.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't know if he's I don't know if he's
Was he
already
injected
got it.
in it?
Has he already got it, and it's just lying, like not doing anything? It'll
Like
be good
dormant.
because the one thing that will be a plus over the first film is that Carnage is notoriously like blood red, like that's his color.
Yeah.
And obviously Venom's black. Whereas in the end of Venom 1, it's nighttime. They're fighting in a grey area, and you have black Venom or black or blue Venom versus what the fuck was it? Riot or
light grey Venom.
Light grey Venom. It was kind of what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, it was fine.
It was fine.
Honestly, I've only ever seen it. Yeah, I only ever saw it once, and I saw it on an airplane, so it's fine. I'll probably see it if it's available to stream, or if I'm ever on an airplane again. I probably
never.
I won't pay to see. No, don't ever say that.
Hey Eddie, let's eat that person.
That's pretty good. That was really good.
It's my Venom impression.
Take that off the list, off the bingo card. Impressions. Oh, someone coming into your door?
No, I think Fiona's leaving.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
The divorce papers have been filed.
I thought you were going to say open the
I'm
window.
a
Just
lonely
go.
boy now, Eddie.
I thought you were going to open
It's
the door.
just you and me.
I thought you were going to open the door and go, but what if I want wings?
Fiona, that's not enough. No pay-per-view, buddy.
What if I want wings? Classic Step Brothers. It's such a quotable show. Anyway, moving on to next part of news. I think, Eddie, you feel very strongly about this as well. I think it was last weekend, Lewis Hamilton made it to 100 pole positions and 97 wins in Formula One, which is unbelievable.
Oh, he won the race, didn't he? Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Massive F1 fan. So followed Lewis for way back in the day, before he was massive.
Way back in the
2007.
Nice. Well, who did he race for then?
McLaren.
Nice.
I saw him take his first British Grand Prix win in Ian Rain, watching Massa spin out. I think he spun out 3 times that day, and Hamilton just start to finish took it like the goat he is. So Formula One's great.
Is he genuinely? Has anyone else topped that?
Well, he's just taken. I think just last season he just beat Michael Schumacher's record of poles. He's obviously yeah. And then obviously this season he's probably going to win his 8th title, which would
that's
be
the best
like
that anyone's ever done.
one more title than Michael Schumacher.
Alone at the top of
Oh,
the mountain.
right, okay. So he's drawing right now. He's up there with Michael Schumacher.
Yeah, they're both on 7 world titles. So it's pretty impressive. I mean, it's fairly easy to argue that a lot of it comes down to the car and everything like that. But then you have to be good enough to put yourself in the position to be in the best car.
Yeah.
And you also need. I mean, it's easy to forget that there's another person in the same identical
Yeah, exactly.
car right next to you.
Bottas doesn't end up first the whole time.
Bottas
He
is
ends up
absolute
first like
mint. Yeah. So
other than that, I mean, you said that you didn't enjoy what is it, the F1 Netflix series, Drive to Survive? Yeah. You said you didn't enjoy it because you felt like they kind of made the drama look a bit worse than it actually was.
They embellished season 3. They didn't so much do... Season 1 and 2 are really good. And
season 1 and 2 of Drive to Survive were good, yeah.
Season 3, I don't think they had... There was plenty of content, but for some strange reason, Netflix did this weird thing where they embellished sort of a conflict on the McLaren episode between Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz, which never happened. But
It's
if
never,
you
yeah.
there was a couple, one or two bits that was enough for them to kind of frame it in a certain way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because they were meant to be best buds, and then something happened.
Yeah, but
They're all-
nothing
they're
actually
all-
happened. Did they clip or something in it? I can't remember what it actually was.
No, I don't think anything ever happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, there's times where they were like one and behind each other in the track, and one would have to let the other go
Yeah.
because they were on totally different tire strategies for the race. So there's no
So
point
they don't talk about
holding
that,
the other
do
one
they?
up.
No.
No,
They don't talk about
that.
the tire strategies. They talk about,
No.
oh, he's the number one driver, and I have to let him overtake.
They're very much like framing it for new fans. They're trying to get new fans in,
Yeah.
which every sport needs to encourage new fans to come in. And by doing TV shows like this for Netflix, that's great because it does get more people interested. But I think, and you find it a lot now that people are getting bored of Hamilton or Verstappen winning time and time again. It's kind of just like become a 2-horse race. But I think if Netflix is a way to get people interested in Formula One, and then people are interested enough to then actually care about the different strategies that go on during a race and get interested about looking at the pit strategies, which, you know, they're really good at discussing on the commentary. For as much as I hate the commentary team, they're quite good at explaining some stuff, even though they cock it up half the time.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, if you can get into it enough to then get into that, it's really like it is quite geeky being into it to the level where maybe like me and Duncan are into it.
I think
watching a
you
race.
get the prime example was last weekend's race, where at the start it was totally one for the purists. Like it was just like a bit of a procession. Like they were away, and then there was like a safety car. As soon as you get a safety car involved, you're like, all right, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
And then they did this whole big two different tire strategies.
And then we were messaging the whole time through, just like there's not if you were just watching it on the telly, there's nothing going on. The cars there's no overtaking going on. Notoriously difficult to overtake at Barcelona. But me and Duncan are just messaging like, flipping heck, he needs to pit now. Like if he's not pitting now, like this is gonna be mental. Like is he gonna do it? Like there's proper tension for us watching it because we're thinking about like when he needs to be pitting, his tire's gonna be okay come the end and
Yeah.
And then at the end, it became a great race because obviously with like 20 laps to go or something, he was 20 seconds behind. And they were like, right, if you keep going, you'll make a second a lap. So of course you're watching the counter each lap, and it's going like 19, 18. And then all of a sudden it goes from 18, 15. You're like, holy shit, like he is just...
really starts winding him in. So
reeling him in.
Who was this between?
Hamilton
Verstappen and Hamilton. Yeah.
And did Hamilton win?
Yeah.
Verstappen took Hamilton at the first corner on the first lap and led it all the way until Mercedes did something different with their tires, and then Hamilton just had pace just to bomb past him in the last 10 laps.
Is he now on 101 poles and 98 wins?
No, it's 100 poles this weekend.
He got his 100 poles that weekend. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Just passed.
Oh, it's this. There isn't a race this weekend.
There's no race this weekend. No, it's Monaco next weekend.
Oh, class. That's amazing. I get what you mean by the fact that you guys are, you see the tactics behind it more than the actual race. Whereas I'll flick it on and be like, there's not much going on.
Yeah, no, I can totally understand that. Yeah.
What I've enjoyed about Drive to Survive is it gets you more involved emotionally with other drivers that aren't Hamilton, Bottas, and Verstappen. I love Sainz. I think he's great. I love Leclerc. I think he's great. Norris.
Yeah.
And who's the guy that now races for Red Bull?
Perez.
The Mexican. Perez. Absolutely love Perez. And then when they said at the end of season 3 that he's joined Red Bull, I was like, let's go. He deserves it. So yeah, I'm more of like I don't know, I'm just like, because I now know their names and I put the faces to the names and things, you kind of appreciate it more, I think.
That's part of it. When you're watching any sport, you need someone to cheer for.
Yeah.
So if Netflix gets people cheering for different people and it gets more people into it, and then once you start cheering for someone, you get way more into it. It's great.
Pierre Gasly as well, one of my top favorite drivers right now.
I think it also helps that in Drive to Survive, I think not just the drivers, but it really helps that the guys that run these teams are really kind of enigmatic and a bit fucking...
Yeah.
You've got to be a bit mad to do what they do. So like, it's all very Game of Thronesy, and they're all kind of like all characters in themselves as well.
Meeting in the Rose Garden.
Yes, maybe in the Rose Garden, Toto, I need a word with you.
There's
what do you want now?
Get out of my garden, you dumb kids.
Don't listen to him, Toto. He said the same thing to Cyril last week. That little Christian's a liar.
I suppose what also has helped me get into Formula One is I've been to quite a few races now, and it's properly epic in the flesh, watching the cars go around and listening to them. Yeah,
that's cool. I found the weirdest thing about this is becoming more of like a Drive to Survive discussion now, but I'm happy to roll with it if you guys are.
Slag it off.
I really like the fact that you get to know Toto and you get to know the Red Bull guy and
Christian.
Yeah, Christian. And you get to know all the sort of like
get out of my head.
You get to know like the head of the garages, I guess. What I didn't get and what I didn't really enjoy. Yeah, the team manager. Is the Williams lady, is she the team manager or is she just the owner of Williams?
She was the team principal, but she's not anymore.
All right, okay. Because I almost felt like
her dad
those guys
the
seem to they all seem to know she's very unlikable, and it's in no way the fact that she is a woman or anything like that. But it's like Toto and Christian and the guy for Haas is probably my favorite manager probably on the show.
Gunther.
He's so good.
That's because he's got two of the worst.
We look like a bunch of wankers.
Yeah, he's so good.
I know. Oh, look, it's Gene. He's calling me again. Hooray.
Fuck's sake, it's Gene calling me.
Fucking Gene. Fucking drivers. Look like a fucking piece of ass.
What can I say, Gene? We need a fucking sponsor. We need some more fucking money.
I love him so much.
I don't want to look like a fucking dickhead at the back of the grid.
But
big E symbol on this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Explicit content. But yeah, I really, really like. But yeah, it was weird. I was quite happy when she decided to step down because I felt like she didn't really like being there. I almost felt like she was there because her dad was the start of Williams, and she didn't really know what she was doing. And I don't know. I just got a really weird vibe from her, and so did Lucy. Like Lucy really got into it as well. Drive to Survive. And she was like, not because she's a woman, but just because it just feels different. Like Toto and Christian and all those other guys seem so invested in like, they're very catty and bitchy and business minded to everyone else. And she just seems to like not really know how to run a racing company.
It feels like she's running a play school group.
I feel like she was maybe a bit of a victim of the fact that, I mean, I suppose probably being a woman probably does contribute to it a bit because it is seen as a very male-dominated sport. There's hardly any women in the sport. So I mean, maybe that does contribute to a bit of unconscious bias.
At those positions.
At those positions,
at those
well, I mean, a few years ago, there was the Sauber team who are now Alfa Romeo. So when they were Sauber, they had a female team principal, Manisha Kaltenbrunn, I think.
Yeah.
No, I think what she also suffered from is you've got guys like Toto, Christian, Zach Brown. These guys, they've actually run businesses and motorsport stuff before coming into being the team principals at these teams.
Right.
She's just obviously just come up the ladder a bit at Williams. Her dad's always been at the top. She's always been at his side. She's always been like his number two. So she maybe suffered from not having like a good base of experience doing something else out on her own to then come in and bring her own ideas.
I think she's also she wasn't as much of a cat. Like I said, the other guys are all bit characters. Like they all actually are kind of like archetypes of like characters you would write down. And then she also, I think, suffered from. It must be very hard. I suspect it must be the same sort of thing at like Ferrari in a way currently, where the Williams team are kind of not had a lot of success for a long time. And that, especially if that's your family business, that probably
a lot of weight.
Sucks.
That's a lot of weight.
A lot of weight. Yeah, I mean, they pretty much dominated the 80s at one point.
Yeah. Well, even go back to like
even the noughties and
recently as well. Kubica went his
because
first
what was it?
stint.
Williams BMW for a while.
Yeah.
No,
Sauber BMW.
What was
Williams had a stint?
When was Williams in BMW? Was that the 90s? Because it was
Ralph Cosworth.
Ralph Schumacher drove for Williams BMW.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm not. I'd have to look it up. But no, even more recently, like 5 or 6 years ago, Williams were like the third best team on the grid. They had like a fantastic season. with Massa and ooh,
Was it Bottas?
I think it was Bottas. Yeah, Massa and Bottas.
just having his name in your ears, Bottas.
I know. Yeah, they did have a BMW engine.
Told you.
2000 to 2005.
There you go.
Button.
Nailed it. The only reason I
Thanks.
know that is because obviously my dad is a massive Beamer fan, and he's like, "I like this Williams BMW team." And it's like, "Shut up, Dad. You only like them because it says BMW on the badge."
But yeah, like Duncan said earlier, I think season 1 and 2 were pretty good for Drive to Survive because I think season 1 and 2 didn't try to create any drama. Maybe there was enough drama that they didn't have to go and create it, and maybe having the whole pandemic.
Yeah,
I don't understand why a pandemic ruining the season wasn't enough drama.
Yeah. Do you think that's why they tried to make up some drama?
Because I don't think this. Maybe
There was plenty of drama though. Like there
Yeah.
was some actual drama, and they've missed some of it out. And you're like, why are you manufacturing this for this when you could have just done something else?
Absolutely nothing on Hamilton getting COVID and George Russell going in for a race in the Mercedes. Absolutely nothing.
Oh, there was briefly.
Yeah, but not that
super briefly. But
it was like
that
it was like
a
mentioned.
whole thing.
Yeah, it was mentioned in passing in one episode where they were like Mercedes were doing really well, and then Hamilton. They didn't even say he had COVID. Hamilton fell ill.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then he had to bunk out of the race, and then George Russell raced for him. But then they didn't even mention where he came in like in the final.
But that was one of the most exciting races because he was leading for most of it, and then he had a shit tire. There was a shit tire stop, and then that's what binned him out. Like it was actually a really good race, and was annoying about that. Like Eddie said, that is a story. Like the world champion, the guy that's reigning world champion, gets COVID-19, could be out. And then,
that's a whole story for George Russell.
He takes the whole weekend off, right? So he's not even there, right? He still wins the world championship. Meanwhile, the young guy gets a go in his car,
and should have won the race.
Just
got dicked over by tire strap by the pit stop.
Yeah. Oh, the irony!
Oh, the irony! He looks like a really good driver, though.
I think Russell will be up there soon.
And he's scouted by Mercedes, but he drives for.
He's owned by Mercedes, so he's a Mercedes driver.
We own
and
you.
he's on loan at Williams.
He's one of our student athletes.
Yeah. So basically, when Bottas or Hamilton retire, he'll jump into the seat.
He should really get the seat. Yeah.
Yeah. Which this is the one thing that I got from Drive to Survive was. You have all of these really good drivers that have all come up racing one another. Like the whole Gasly, Sainz, or all those like younger drivers and stuff like that. They've all come up racing one another, which I thought was really class. And they're finding themselves racing again in Formula One. And they're so good, but at the same time, when you have the likes of Verstappen and Hamilton in the cars that they're in, there's no way that you're going to get that title.
They've kind of come at the wrong time.
They've come up at the wrong time.
It's all time in Formula One. Yeah,
exactly.
It's all time. And there's so many drivers that should really be winning more races and all that. But, I mean, when you're up against Hamilton in the Mercedes, Verstappen in the Red Bull, you've really got to wait for the races where those teams are messing up, they're crashing out. Or
take advantage of it.
Take advantage, which is in fairness, what drivers like Gasly are doing in an AlphaTauri. That's
because he's driving really well for AlphaTauri, which I thought his Red Bull demotion was actually really good for him because he didn't have as much pressure on himself, and then he just started driving really well.
Well, you're kind of seeing it now as well with Perez. That Red Bull second seat, I wouldn't say it's cursed, but it's got to be one of the toughest seats to be in Formula One because that car is so clearly geared up for Max Verstappen that if you don't drive like Max Verstappen, you're just gonna look rubbish.
That's going through.
That's quite a good way to do it, actually. So both cars are made pretty much identical.
Well, yeah, they have to be identical. Yeah,
right. But they've maybe seen how Max drives, and they've adjusted things to be more to drive like Max. And if you drive like Perez,
well, Perez has just come from. It's basically
McLaren,
just
right?
come. Well, he's come from what were Racing Point and who are now this season Aston Martin.
Yeah.
He's come from them, who are a car traditionally basically mini Mercedes, into the Red Bull, and you couldn't have more contrasting car setups.
Oh, really? Is he struggling?
So he'll be struggling to get to grips with that car setup, but probably won't take him much longer now, Perez, because I think he is one of these drivers who's very adaptable. Well, you saw it, to be honest, in the last race, he pulled himself up from, well, he was fourth, I think, wasn't he? So, he's getting there, but that every team will gear their car up to their number one driver.
Yeah.
So, like, Bottas is basically driving Hamilton's car.
Yeah.
That's mental. And they've got, I think it was season 3. I don't know what they've got now. Mercedes brought in this, like, you can pull the steering wheel away and towards you, depending on what corner you're going down.
That's good.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
So yeah, you pull the steering wheel, and so when the cars normally are set up for the front wheels to lean in like that.
Right.
So the front wheels lean quite. It's only a few degrees. I think it's only 3 degrees, but when you look at it, it does actually look quite mental. So basically, what they do is by pulling the steering wheel out, they straighten the wheels up like that, which lets them go faster up the straight, but also allows them to heat the whole tire up on the straights.
That's incredible.
So they don't have to do quite as much weaving to get the tires warm.
Yeah.
Like, say, like the formation lap or things like that. And then obviously when they go into a corner, the steering wheel goes back in, the wheels go like that, and then more, I think it's more camber on the wheels is better for turning.
That's incredible. And it's all in relegation. And
it's not anymore.
For that season, they've banned it now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was like such an innovation.
It was. They were all right. There was like everyone was really cross and didn't think about it, and then they were like, "Nah, that's way too much." It's like you're moving a part in the car, like which you're not allowed to do. So it's
okay.
Like, it will let you have it, but you're not having an issue.
So they're just back to a regular steering wheel.
Mm.
Yep.
There'll be another one. There'll be another thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there any new technologies or new things that have happened this season that people have gone, what the fuck?
Well, Red Bull are probably about to get their wrist slapped for their rear wing. So aerodynamic stuff on the car has to be fixed. It can't move at all. And there's various tests that they do at the start of a race weekend where they bend parts, and they're allowed like a certain degree of deflection on things. So the rear wing is what it is. The rear wing is kind of shaped like that.
Yeah.
They're allowed a certain degree of deflection on the rear wing.
Yeah. So like it's carbon fiber, so that's always going to flex.
It's always going to deflect because as it's moving, it's getting more pressure put on it by the air flowing over it. But Mercedes have complained saying that Red Bull's is moving excessively under load when they're driving.
Right.
So the FIA, the governing body, are now going to install cameras on cars, and they want manufacturers to put special markings on their rear wings so that during a race, the camera is aimed at a specific point and it's able to see how much movement a wing is actually moving during the race, which they aren't doing up until now. Very technical.
That
very
sounds
anal.
mental.
But
what a thing to complain about.
These are the things in Formula One. They say it's a sport of very fine margins. So it's that sort of thing is getting maybe Red Bull like another 1/10 of a second on a lap. But that over a race, that's massive. So
so you say things aren't allowed to move.
Anal sport.
I take it DRS, that's when the wing opens up as a full wing, right? That's the only moving component you're allowed, I guess.
Yeah, that's the only bit of sort of aerodynamic active aero that you're allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then is DRS still a thing?
That is DRS.
Oh, that is DRS.
That's a drag reduction system. So the wing normally sits like that, and then when they press it, it opens up and it reduces drag of air.
Reduces drag.
It just goes straight through.
And that's like a boost button.
Kind of. It's supposedly
gives you like 12
an extra,
more miles an hour or something.
Yeah. Like an extra, and then they've got all the batteries.
Like
and stuff
16 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Are they hybrids now?
Yes.
Is there like batteries and stuff?
In hybrid, in a sense, they don't drive just on electric for any time, but they've got big batteries to boost the power.
Yeah, so they're petrol engines, but if like for acceleration and for like certain things, they
press a button and it's a whole like extra. I think it's 80 horsepower to get extra out of the batteries.
Mental. 80 horsepower.
It's a Vauxhall Corsa. It's a Vauxhall Corsa that you can just like slap in the back.
Yeah. There's 40 horsepower less than my Mini. Just added.
just there you go.
So good. Is there anything else you want to discuss about this, or we can move on and we can keep chatting?
To move
No,
on. That's
I've
good.
covered it.
Nice.
Watch it if you haven't. watched
Yeah,
it.
if you've
Enjoy
not
it.
watched,
Don't want to turn too many listeners away.
yeah, fair enough. If you are listening and you've never actually heard of Drive to Survive, it's a Netflix documentary. It's 3 seasons in. I imagine there's going to be a 4th coming in
Oh yeah.
next year at some point at the end of this year.
I think the cameras are in the paddock, so yeah.
Nice. So yeah, it's very, very good. Obviously, we think it's great. We've just talked about it for about 25 minutes. So yeah, if you feel like jumping in, that would be sweet. You'll probably enjoy it. We enjoy it. So yeah, we'll move on, shall we? Yeah. So moving
Human
on.
Torch was denied a bank loan.
Unique New York.
Unique New York.
The lobster had oddly shaped feet. Moving on to the next piece of news, which I found out through Instagram, because Instagram's doing these like really annoying type TikTok videos, but some of them are quite funny. And I refuse to download TikTok because I'm almost 30 and I'm too old.
That Instagram video wormhole is a wormhole I also like to fall down.
Yeah, you fall down it by accident.
Oh yes.
But what I saw was this guy going, Nintendo has just released a calculator to the Nintendo Switch eShop, and it costs $9.99. And everyone seemed to think because it costs $10, it's a game. And then it's not, it's just a calculator. So this guy made a video
silly.
and was like, oh, there's the new calculator in the eSwitch shop. It costs $10 and it's cross-compatible with mobile devices. And then he just realizes, oh wait, it's just a calculator. Why the hell have they thought that? I don't know.
Did they make it, or is it like a third party and they've just okayed it?
So it's not an official Nintendo.
Like it's not internal. It's like just branded.
Yeah, but it's in the game shop.
That's hilarious.
But it's
That's
just
pretty
called
bad.
calculator and it's a tenner.
Imagine being that dumb.
No. You're like, let me just get my free iPhone calculator out. That's ridiculous.
I just check the calculator that I carry around in my pocket every day.
Yeah. Why have they released a calculator yet they've not released Zelda? You know? I want the Ocarina of Time and I want Wind Waker on my Switch. And then I'll be happy. Unforgivable. So that was just a little bit of news that I thought was hilarious and I wanted to mention to you guys.
That is pretty funny.
How many times do you use your calculator on a daily basis?
Quite a lot.
Yeah. Even when Mr. Mackay said that we'd never have a calculator on us and we need to know our arithmetic.
Oh yeah. Best thing at work is that my keyboard has a calculator button on it. So I just press the calculator button and just do 2 times 2 is 4. All right, okay, cool, yeah. Just thought it was.
Just double check.
Double check. Could be wrong.
That's awesome. And another sort of irrelevant, in my opinion, news, but for most people, they're probably absolutely buzzing about it. The 27th of May has been officially the date of the Friends reunion episode. Eddie has a gun pointed to his head. I agree.
You just know it's gonna be shit. It's
I
gonna
mean,
be hyped up.
so hyped for it. It's so terrible. It's such a bad idea.
Here's my 2 cents on the matter. Jennifer Aniston, still working hard as an actress, still doing a decent job as a comic actress.
Still hot.
Still looking real good. Yeah.
Damn.
David Schwimmer doing the exact same. You know? Both of them are still like he was in that Netflix movie about O.J. Simpson. He's been he did Band of Brothers way back when. He's been doing quite a lot of like TV shows and movies and stuff. I like, and he still looks pretty good, keeping in shape. Pretty decent looking dude.
Ish.
Matt LeBlanc and Matthew Perry. Not
Didn't really do. How'd that spin-off career go, Matt?
Matt.
How'd
that
Matt LeBlanc's spin-off did it not go quite well? Like stuff like episodes. I thought that was fairly well received.
Episodes. His spin-off career was
Joey.
Joey.
Yeah. No, episodes
Joey
was
great.
quite good, but episodes wasn't like a vehicle for him. It was a vehicle for
the other two people.
Tamsin Gregg and.
Speaking of vehicles, his other side project was Top Gear.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I enjoyed it
briefly.
I enjoyed him on Top Gear. I thought he was quite good.
He was quite good. I don't know if the balance was quite right. It's weird, like him when he was doing the presenting was quite good, but his some of the banter felt a bit forced. But
It was all
Yeah.
it was way too scripted.
Way
all
too
that.
scripted.
Yeah. As a comic actor, he was better at the ad-lib stuff than the scripted
Yeah.
comedy.
Yeah, he was definitely better at
Yeah.
the ad lib stuff, especially when he was driving the cars. He was quite funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's quite
because
good.
it's what pops into your head is usually funnier than what a
Yeah.
room of writers have probably thought about.
Also, he's aged all right.
He's
Well,
aged quite well,
He
actually.
still looks
I
quite
take
good.
that back.
Yeah,
Um,
I take offense at that.
but then
Who else?
Courtney Cox and Lisa Kudrow, what have they done, really? Lisa Kudrow has been in a couple movies, I think.
She's been in a few stuff, few TV
things.
shows too.
Courtney Cox.
was like a
he
head
earned
t-
so much from
She's-
syndication rights. They don't need to do anything. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even like there were heaps of interviews years ago, I think, of like a Friends reunion because it was like their 10th anniversary or something. Oh yeah, it was 2020.
Yeah.
It was the 10th anniversary of them finishing because they finished in 2010. Or did they finish
Yeah.
2001?
2009? 2000, yeah,
Who cares?
2009.
Was it?
I can't remember.
2011
That's the
and-
thing.
Just-
Maybe it was
yeah.
2010. And then I remember Jennifer Aniston in an interview being like, "No, we'd never do that. Like, it would be so bad. Like, we're all older. It would be really sad to see how old we've gotten. You know, is the writing still good? Because Friends with the Z generation now being like, oh, it's so offensive and fair enough. Yeah, it's pretty homophobic and you know, it's jokes of the times.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they've written a reunion episode, is it going to be Friends comedy or is it going to be modern
But it's not an
PC?
episode. It's them sitting on a couch
principal
having a
comedy.
reunion. It's not actually an episode.
Oh, thank God.
And there's going to be like a heap of like, who was that? I read Justin Bieber's going to be in it and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
So there was Justin Bieber, David Beckham, a bunch
Tragic.
of other people.
This sounds
I
like
feel- it
this
doesn't
sounds like
sound-
a comic. This sounds like a comic relief special.
It doesn't
Yeah.
sound great, does it?
No,
No.
it sounds pretty
Yeah,
bad.
it won't be good.
Let me just have
A
look.
lot, and you know what? It's only going to make a lot of people angry because it's not going to be what they want it to be.
Yeah, this is a very silly idea. But you know,
I got the
I
guest
love a good-
stars up.
We all love a good train wreck.
David Beckham, Justin Bieber,
Nice.
BTS. Who's that?
That's the K-pop band. It's like
Okay.
a K-pop band, boy band, isn't it?
James Corden,
Very quick on that one, Eddie.
Cindy Crawford, Cara Delevingne, Lady Gaga, Elliot Gould, Larry Hankin, Kit Harington, Mandy Kaling, Thomas Lennon, Christina Pickles, lol. Tom Selleck's back.
She was in Office.
Tom Selleck and his mustache. James Michael Tyler, Maggie Wheeler, Reese Witherspoon, and Malala Yousafzai. Yousafzai? I butchered that maybe.
Okay.
Apologies.
Well,
It seems like there are way too many guests for one episode.
it's not an episode. It's like I said, it's this like weird like reunion special where they just talk about being on the show and how much it means to people, and maybe do a few skits. Like, I don't know. It sounds pretty
Sounds
grim.
crap.
Not
I don't,
really.
I
it's
don't
crap.
understand what's
Yeah.
happening because they've not made it clear that it was a chat with some skits.
I
thought
swear it was a chat
genuinely-
with some skits. I didn't think it was a full episode.
Right, we'll see.
Maybe it is.
Well, they have been filming it at the set. They did film it in
Oh,
like
okay.
a month at the set. So maybe it is. But maybe it's going to be one of those corny things where they're all on the set, all in character, but they're in character to the extent of like, we're in character. Oh.
Yeah, they're going to be
who's
calling each
this?
other.
Oh my god, it's Justin Bieber.
Yeah, they're not going to be like Jen, David, Matthew.
Yeah.
They're going to be like
Yeah,
Rachel.
it sounds so much like a comic children need like
Chandler.
crossover episode that no one asked for.
Yeah. I don't know if it's my old aged cynical mind. I don't know because my sister is absolutely buzzing for it. But
She's gonna be
I'm sort of.
disappointed.
I don't think she's read into it. I think she's seen it and gone, "Oh yes!" And I've
Yeah.
actually looked into it and gone, "I don't know."
Hey Steph, here's a big fat ball of disappointment.
Yeah, exactly.
Fastball.
If Steph, if you're listening, or if anyone who is listening and is fans of Friends and you like share your
Tell me
opinions
why.
with us, we were gonna
Oh.
do emails from the guests this week, but we haven't got any. So if
tell
you
you
want to,
God's sake,
emails
Gemma.
from the guests. You mean emails from the listeners?
yeah, sorry, emails from the listeners, which we'll get once we get that rolling again, and we get some emails. Come on, Gemma, Steph, Tom, other people that listen.
That's good. We'll be able to talk about this. We'll
David.
be able to discuss how terrible it was in person.
Paige
out
Boehner.
here.
But yeah, we'll get Eddie to think up a little jingle as well. And then that will be the intro to the segment. A podcast within a podcast.
Listener heroes.
Listener heroes.
Emails.
Oh, emails. That makes more sense, yeah.
To be revisited.
Duncan, The Bad Batch.
What? Go on then.
It's a kids' TV show.
It's really not though, but okay.
It is. I watched 2 episodes, or I watched 1.5 episodes, and I just thought that it reminded me of the Clone Wars animation. And
that's right. Yeah, because it's made by the same people. So
yeah,
that's good.
But like in terms of writing, in that it's very easy to follow. The characters seem a bit. They seem very Disney Channel to me.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of like
especially-
the original trilogy in terms of how simple the characters are.
For the listener, Duncan is dying inside.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry to
I'm
have
okay.
this reaction,
No,
but
it's okay. It's absolutely fine. Everyone eats their own.
the whole like they've got a little kid like helping them out. I was like, that's very Disney Channel. And
It is, but it's also
out
very
of-
Mandalorian because like he has a little kid helping him out at times.
Yeah, but Mandalorian's really dark.
But then how's like everyone being murdered by like turncoat clone troopers execute Order 66? I think a lot of the
right,
darkness
so
is
it's-
taken out because it's animation. So I think that actually a lot of it is quite dark. But
Yeah, I think, but certain characters for me as well make it seem like who's the big berserker guy in the Bad Batch?
he's definitely is.
I could not get around him. I was like, this is the worst character in the whole franchise because he feels like children's comic relief. Like, oh yeah, now we're talking and we're gonna have a fight, and I'm like, fuck off.
A lot of it is that I think you're right in terms of it's like a show for everyone. I think you've got they've got to tick boxes. So you're right. Like it's Wrecker, I think his name is.
Yeah.
You're right. Some of his lines don't stick with me, but then I really like the Rambo inspired.
The main guy.
With the
Hunter, bandana.
Like he's cool.
Yeah, he's a good character, and I genuinely think if it was like, I don't know where they're going to go with the story with Echo, but I have no like emotion towards her at all. I'm like, why are you here?
Or Omega.
You're annoying.
And Omega, and your accent was so spot on. Like I was laughing last week. I was like, you're so close to what she actually sounds like. I think
she is a Kiwi. Yeah.
There is a big. The one thing Kat and I were talking about this because we watched it, and Omega comes along. And you're like, oh, she's genetically different, which is why she's kind of been lumped in with the Bad Batch. And you're like, yeah, she's genetically different because she's the first female clone, but at no point have they actually referenced that.
Yeah.
Like, she's literally a female Boba Fett or female Jango Fett.
She's clearly a clone because 1, she's a Kiwi. 2, she's in the same facility. And 3, she kind of looks like them as well.
that. They established she's a clone, but they don't establish but no one has gone, it's a bit weird that every other clone is male.
Yeah,
because
well,
they're clones.
Django was male, right?
Oh yeah, exactly, because they're clones, and then all of a sudden there's a female one, and you're like,
how?
No one's going to point this out. No, we're not pointing this out at all.
Maybe they will later on.
Maybe they think because then they keep going, where is she? And it's like, well, she's a girl. Why are we not talking about the fact that this is probably why she's been hunted down?
Yeah,
can't be assuming people's genders these days.
That's true.
This is
especially
true.
in Disney.
This is very true. We'll have to look up what she's actually got written on her Twitter handle. Is that a bad joke?
If she has one. That's good.
It's like a thing that people are doing now.
So
they're
not
like,
a fan of the Bad Batch then?
Not a fan. I think I was keen to get involved because I quite like the fact of like a rogue, different stormtrooper like gang. And literally as I started up, I was like, I wonder if this is going to be very similar to Clone Wars because obviously it looks visually similar.
Yeah, it's Clone Wars Season 8. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah. So basically when it started, it had the Galactic Senate is under attack and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
One of the best bits. Well, that's supposed to be done because it's supposed to be a news channel. Like you're supposed to be watching the news, which is quite good.
But then
Like I said to
that's
you
that's
before,
immediately what changed my mind initially when it came on. I was like, oh, it's just the Clone Wars again.
But the one of the things about the Clone Wars was that it had these light moments, but then, like I said, there's also these horrific storylines that they had, which were really dark. Like a whole, like the Death Watch murdered an entire village of people, and you watch it happen, and then they burn it down.
Yeah.
Then there's like a whole one with like the slave trade, and like people are being like having their organs harvested as well. There's one of those ones. Then there's like the whole one that I don't know if I ever sent you it. It's like the whole double crossing in the fog, where a guy instructs a whole group of people to shoot another group of people, a Jedi.
Oh, wow.
And he orders clone troopers to shoot on other clone troopers, so that he can become a baddie.
It's treason then.
Yeah, and you're like, fucking hell, that's dark for a kids show.
Sounds really dark, actually.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you. It's got it has its moments.
Yeah, it has its moments, and for me, just in my opinion, I couldn't get around it. I couldn't get around the kiddie aspect to it, and the very Disney Channel type. Although I know it wasn't initially, I don't think Disney Channel, but it just has that feel to it, like it is a Disney.
Oh yeah, yeah.
TV
Like I
show.
said, I think they tick a lot of boxes because I think like all Star Warsy.
Hey,
stuff
it's more
that-
action figures.
Yeah, I
More
think
things for Hasbro to make.
more Lego.
Exactly.
Bad Batch Lego coming soon. It's fun though. I'll wait for this week's one. Supposedly this week's one got dark, so we'll wait and see how
Okay.
dark they go.
Let's. Speaking of how dark things go, you want to talk about the Mass Effect Legendary Edition?
Yeah, it's the 4K remaster of.
Everyone's
One
talking about this right now.
Yeah, it's Mass Effect 1 and 2 are probably two of the greatest games ever made. And now you can play them in 4K on your PS4s and Xbox One X's. And
So it's cross-compatible, like not cross-compatible, but like you can play it on
they've released
all
it. They've released
systems.
it on both, so you can play it on both.
Very cool. Eddie, have
And-
you played Mass Effect?
I've played all three. Original.
No.
I've never played any of them.
Sweet.
So this, yeah, I know. So
Two
this
v
is
one. Yes.
It's good. It's
Move
probably
on.
one of the coolest stories. So worth buying, worth playing.
worth buying, worth
Alright.
buying. Is it the whole trilogy is in 4K
Whole trilogy
rendered?
plus all the DLC.
Interesting. Are they
The
long?
people who made the game, what other games have they made?
BioWare. So BioWare have made Dragon Age. They recently They recently went off the rails with Anthem, but this was before all that.
Good old Anthem.
What else did they make?
All right.
They made Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. They made Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Oh yeah, so they did.
So they've made some great RPGs in their time.
Oh, they made Baldur's Gate.
They
What a
did
great
make-
game that was.
Yeah, they've made this was their wheelhouse. This was when they were at their absolute peak.
Yeah.
Kind of got a bit downhill since then, but this was like peak
And
studio.
Oh,
yeah, I'm
they
looking at
are owned by EA as well.
They got bought by EA after Mass Effect.
Alright.
So the EA bought them
Yeah.
after during
It-
Mass Effect 2 or something.
it looks like most of their games, for me anyway, have gone under the radar. And Mass Effect is the only one I can really recognize. Obviously, Old Republic I recognize, and like Knights of the Old Republic and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I other than that, Anthem I didn't really play. Dragon Age I'd never really heard of. I think I've seen the box, but like it was nothing that really popped out to me. I'd be quite keen to give Mass Effect a go. Eddie?
What?
I don't know, it looked like you were about to say something.
No.
No? Okay.
No. Sorry.
Yeah, Duncan, can you try and sell it a bit more? What's it about? What's Mass Effect about?
Mass Effect is basically about how it's like set in the well, I would say near future, but it's set not too far distant future. I don't think, but I could be completely wrong about that. Basically, it starts off with humanity has expanded throughout the Milky Way. They've discovered they are now one of 5 races, and the other races are kind of all been pottering along quite nicely. And then humanity's like, "Hi, we now can do space travel." So now they're kind of racist against like humanity. Humanity are kind of kept out the loop about things and all that sort of stuff. And that's kind of the situation when you get dropped on a planet to a planet's gone down, communications have gone down. You get there, turns out they're all been turned into zombies, space
Oh,
zombies.
it's a
of some
zombie
sort.
game.
Not really. It's kind of like they've been kidnapped or like turned into like these android robot type things,
Okay.
and then you discover that there's this grand conspiracy going on, and then from there it just kind of takes off, and you get sent to track down this bad guy in the first one, and then the second one you discover that there's an even greater like threat to the galaxy. The Reapers.
It's not
are
just
coming.
Darth Vader; it's also the Emperor.
Yeah, not so much the Emperor. It's more like this bad guy has a ship, and it turns out the ship's actually like a massive living creature, and not only is there one of them, but there's like a million of them. Oh right,
These
okay,
spoilers,
so
by the way.
I probably
Kinda,
won, kind of, but I won't spoil 2 because 2 is probably one of the greatest games of all time.
I mean, if I get time, which I don't think I will this summer, but
there's just no,
and then I'll
no time
obviously
to play it. That's
Yeah,
what
I
you were
know.
saying. It's like so excited to play Mass Effect all the way through again, and all one of the highlights of it is all the choices you make choices in 1, and then 2 those choices can come back to bite you in the ass, or they can come back to be good for you, and then the choices you make in 2 can affect 3, and then some of the choices you made in 1 also
That's cool.
come to 4 in 3.
yeah,
So example is there's like non-spoiler, well, kind of spoilery, but there's an alien, like giant alien insect that you can save or kill in Mass Effect 1. And if you let them go in Mass Effect 1, when there's a specific space battle in Mass Effect 3, they will arrive with reinforcements. Only if you save
so
them
it doesn't
in Mass Effect 1.
backfire on you.
But well, if you save them, yes, but if you kill them, then they don't arrive.
Yeah,
in Mass Effect 3. So it's that was cool.
that's
So
very
it
cool.
imports your saves one to the
I
next.
like it when games do that.
As
That's very
the
good.
same character, so you can import your character, so like you keep your character and they kind of evolve.
Is it first person or third person?
Third.
Third, nice. I like that. Although saying that, I like the idea of Skyrim as well, where you get to go third into first
Yeah.
whenever you're in battle or whatever. Sounds good. Hopefully, I'll get involved. Eddie, anything to add to that?
No, he's already
No,
off. Concentrate on something else.
No, I was just saying. I think last week we mentioned new Battlefield 6 coming soon, and this week there was a little teaser.
June boom.
Battlefield tweeted words that rhyme with soon. June boom. So I think we're half expecting a June, probably like
June
a June
release.
reveal of like a teaser trailer or something like that. Probably a trailer in June for Battlefield, but I don't think it will be till like the end of the year.
It won't
Be
be
sick.
out till October. They'll want to push it out sort of October.
Yeah.
It's
Call of
always
Duty
it's
usually
always
comes
like
out in
October,
November,
isn't
so-
it?
Yeah, October, November, because you want to get people. They want to get enough reviews and people playing it, and then you want to build the hype that way. So when it gets to like Thanksgiving
Christmas.
weekend and
Yeah.
then Christmas in the US, you'll be able to.
Oh, I
pump
might
up
have
those
to.
sales.
I might have to find a way to use my Xbox in Sri Lanka.
It's gonna be great. We've been playing a bit of Battlefield 5 recently, and it's just as enraging as it used to be.
Yeah, I'm quite jealous of the fact that I don't have my Xbox down here, and you guys are playing online, and I'm not. So hopefully we'll get there again. I spoke to my mate Marcus, and he was like you guys, you have an allocated like Tuesdays as game night.
Yeah.
I was speaking to Marcus, and he was like, yeah, I play a lot of Warzone. And he was like, play Warzone with my mates, and my girlfriend doesn't like gaming, so we play every Thursday night, and that's like my gaming night, so that she has me every other night. So I might
Gotta
have
schedule these
to, I
things
might
in.
have to schedule in a gaming night if I get my Xbox down here. Actually, I'm going to Scotland next week,
Yeah.
so I might get my Xbox down here.
Are you driving up?
Yeah, we're driving up on
Nice.
Monday the 24th. And speaking of, actually, we should probably arrange maybe 2 episodes for next week to record,
Yeah.
so that we've
Yeah.
got one for next week and one for the birthday weekend, 13 and 14. But yeah, shall we end it there, lads?
I think
Yep.
so.
Nice one. That'll do it for this week. If you guys want to contribute to the topics, if you find anything class, leave us a message on all the socials, or you can leave us a message on Gmail. Just our email address is that'sclasspod@gmail.com. You can, if you want to get on the socials, it is just that'sclasspod. Let us know what you find class. We will probably put it in a future episode. You can also catch our faces, like I said at the top, on YouTube every other Wednesday. If you want to listen to us all again in visual form rather than in audio form, leave us a like, leave us a comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to as well, and ultimately share with your friends, because the amount of people that listen to this helps us. Well, it doesn't really help us, but like it gives us more motivation to do the pod because we've got consistently 16 to 20 people listening every week. It ranges from topic to topic.
That's
which
too
is
many.
Too many people listening to
many.
us.
Yeah.
I think deduct 3 because maybe we might listen to this all ourselves anyway.
Deduct.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, and then they'll all be fans of Formula One.
Just let me get my calculator up. So check that sum.
So yeah, if you listen to the pod, try and we really appreciate it if you try and share it with more of your friends, because the more people that listen to it, the more we get excited to record more and actually put a lot more effort than just doing a news episode. So we really appreciate it. Thanks for listening. We hope you have had a super day, and we will see you next week. Say goodbye, Duncan.
Goodbye, Duncan.
And as Eddie says at the end of every episode of That's Class,
see you later, alligator.